Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the misty fjords and smoky halls of Viking lore. So get comfy, let your eyes start to droop a little, and prepare to drift off as we explore something a little mushroomy. Now picture this. You're standing on a rocky shore, icy wind licking at your face. Behind you, pine trees creak under the weight of snow. Ahead, the sea stretches endlessly, and in your gloved hand a strange little mushroom. Red cap. White spots. You've seen these before. They grow under birch and spruce, just like the sagas said. Tonight is your night. Ritual night. You're not a warrior today. You're something older. Stranger. A seer. A vulva. One of the few who walk between the worlds. The rest of your crew is back at the longhouse, drinking mead and sharpening blades. You've been fasting. Preparing. Because this isn't a casual snack. This mushroom is sacred. It's not for flavor, it's for visions. Vikings weren't just axe-wielding raiders, despite the reputation. They believed in forces beyond the veil, in the unseen. The spirits of land and sea, the favor of the gods, and yes, in the magical properties of certain natural gifts. Mushrooms, particularly the Amanita muscaria, the fly agaric, weren't just fungi to them. They were tools, portals, maybe even whispers from Odin himself. But before you swallow that colorful cap, you sit, cross-legged in the forest, surrounded by snow-muted silence. You grind it. Not too much. You've learned from past mistakes. One bite too many, and you end up seeing frost giants in the soup bowl for days. There's a hum in your ears. Not from the cold, from the quiet. Your heartbeat echoes like distant drums. The ritual begins not with chants or fire, but with stillness, with breath. You focus inward, just as you were taught, and then, slowly you eat. It tastes bitter, earthy, a little like pine resin and old socks, but you chew through it anyway, because this is how you speak with the Norns, the fates, the shadowy figures who weave destiny's cloth. This is how your people understand the storms before they strike, and the omens hiding in a raven's cry. You feel it before you see it. The colors sharpen. The forest leans a little closer. The snowflakes fall in slow motion, each one carving delicate paths through the air, like little gods of winter. Your hands are warm, then cold, then buzzing like a beehive. It's beginning. You hum softly, a chant passed down from your teacher, who passed it down from hers. Words older than runes, older than memory. The trees start whispering back, just at the edge of understanding. And then he comes. A figure in a cloak, one eye hidden beneath a hood. You don't call him by name, not here, not now, but you feel his presence. Watching, testing, approving, maybe. You reach for the pouch at your belt, scattering a few sprigs of herbs onto the ground. Birch bark, dried clover, a sliver of antler, a tribute. The figure doesn't speak. He never does, but you know he's waiting. For what? For your question, your vision, your offering of insight. And just as you open your mouth to ask, the forest dissolves, not violent, not like a storm, more like ink dropped into water. Shapes blur, sounds fade, and then darkness, not empty, full, alive. Welcome to the first layer of the Viking magical journey. It's quiet now. Too quiet. No chirping birds, no rustling leaves, just the thick, overwhelming silence of a space where time seems to stand still. You float there, suspended in nothing, and in that nothingness you hear something. A voice. Maybe. It sounds like your own thoughts, but louder, sharper, more insistent. It's Odin. Well, not Odin exactly. But it's the shape of him, the wisdom of him. You know the tales, the one-eyed god, the wanderer, the seeker of knowledge. But in this moment, it's his voice in your head, speaking not in words, but in visions, symbols. The shape of the trees, the curl of the smoke from your campfire, the way the mushrooms feel in your hand. But you're not here to question the gods or seek their approval. You're here because you need guidance. The people are restless. They're looking to you, the seer, the one who can tap into this space, to predict the outcome of the raid, to foretell the future, to bring back something from the beyond. And suddenly, there it is, the spark of an image. The mushrooms start to glow, faintly, and the entire world around you shifts. The trees grow taller, their bark crackling like firewood, and you realize this is the Viking mind under the influence. These mushrooms, they open the doorway to wisdom, visions, and strange new perspectives. The ancient, secret knowledge of the world, the Amanita muscaria, with its red cap and white spots, has long been a companion to shamans. It's said to carry the spirits of the forest, the earth, the wild places where no human dares to tread. For the Vikings, it was more than just a hallucinogenic escape. It was a sacred bridge. Mushrooms weren't just a gateway for the mind. They were a way to connect with the divine. But here's where things get a little odd. You can feel your body temperature drop, a chill running from your fingertips to your spine. The air smells different, sweet and earthy, like wet moss after rain. Your head is heavy, and your thoughts start to blur together. You're in it. You've crossed the threshold into a world of visions, where the lines between dream and reality disappear. In Viking tradition, these mystical experiences weren't seen as odd or unusual. They were expected. The seers, or V-lovers, were skilled in using these mushrooms to pierce the veil of the ordinary world, seeking the wisdom of the gods and ancestors. And as you sit there, surrounded by the magic of the mushrooms, you know you've become a part of that tradition. You let yourself sink deeper into the experience. The images swirl. A raven, Odin's favorite messenger, flies past you, its wings beating with the rhythm of your heart. You reach out to touch its feathers, but they slip away like mist, and then a feeling. Not a vision, but a knowing. The future. The battle. The outcome. It's all there, hidden in the spaces between the mushrooms and the gods. The Amanita muscaria, this seemingly simple mushroom, is more than just a plant. It's a sacred tool for seeing beyond the veil. It allows the Vikings to know, to gain knowledge that would otherwise be hidden from their mortal eyes. In that state, they weren't just warriors or kings, they were prophets, touched by the gods, granted wisdom to navigate the uncertain path of life. But, just like all things in the Viking world, the experience is fleeting. You blink, and suddenly the vision is gone. The forest returns to its quiet stillness, the mushrooms glow fading into the darkness. The raven is gone. The chill remains, though, wrapping around you like a cloak. It's then that you realize the mushrooms didn't just open your mind. They opened your connection to everything that came before. To the gods, the ancestors, the spirits of the land. It wasn't just a vision, it was an awakening to a truth the Vikings knew deep in their bones. We are all connected, all of us, all the living, and the dead, and the spirits in between. The sound of the wind returns to your ears, and the world around you feels, once again, solid. You stand, stretch. The ritual is over, for now. But the power of the mushrooms lingers. They've shown you something important, something hidden. Something that, if you're lucky, you'll remember when the time comes. And now, with the mushroom's magic still rippling through your mind, you head back to the longhouse. There, the warmth of the fire and the hum of conversation await. But there's no turning back from what you've learned. The gods, the mushrooms, and the world beyond. None of it will ever look the same again. Back at the longhouse, the fire crackles merrily in the hearth. The warmth is a stark contrast to the chill that still lingers beneath your skin, a reminder of the journey you've just taken. You've left the mystical realm behind, but the effects of the mushrooms cling to you. It's a subtle kind of shift, a shift in perception, in understanding. You can't quite explain it to anyone else. You feel different, like you've touched something deeper, something older. The other Vikings are all gathered around, drinking their mead, laughing, telling tales of battle and conquest. Some of them glance at you with a knowing look. They've seen you disappear into the woods before. They know what you've done. Some of them even ask, "What did you see this time?" You don't tell them the truth, not all of it. There's no need to. They wouldn't understand. Not the way you do. Instead, you smile and tell them that Odin himself walked with you, that the gods whispered secrets only you were meant to hear. You leave out the part about the raven and the visions of battle that floated just beyond your reach. You leave out the part where the mushrooms made everything a little too vivid, a little too real. But inside, you know the truth. The mushrooms have opened a door for you. They've given you a glimpse of the world that lies beyond the ordinary. A world where time doesn't work the way it does here. Where the gods walk beside mortals. And you've crossed into that world. The power you felt in the forest is still with you, in your bones, in your blood. The fire crackles again, but the noise seems distant now. Everything seems distant. You find yourself staring into the flames, lost in thought. And it's then that it hits you. The mushrooms. The way they allow the Vikings to experience more than just the physical world. They aren't just about seeing visions or hearing the voices of the gods. They're a way to become something more. They're a way to connect with something greater than yourself. The forest, the spirits, the ancestors, the gods. It's all interconnected. You shake your head. Maybe it's the mushrooms still working their magic on you. But this idea feels too real. It's not just about predicting the future or finding guidance. It's about understanding your place in the grand weave of things. You're part of this world, sure, but you're also part of the world that exists beyond it. A world where magic isn't just a thing of legends, but a very real force that flows through everything. The trees, the rivers, the stones, and even the mushrooms beneath your feet. And the mushrooms aren't just a tool for the Varlavas, the seers, or the shamans. They're a part of the Viking way of life. In the sagas, you hear stories of warriors who consumed them before battle to gain strength, to enter a state of wild, fearless rage. Berserkers, they were called. They believed that by using the mushrooms, they could call on the power of the gods, enter into a trance, like fury, and fight with a strength that was beyond human. But not everyone used them in that way. Some, like you, used them for insight, for connection, for understanding the will of the gods, the fate of the tribe. The Vikings were deeply spiritual people, and to them, the mushrooms were a sacred gift, a way to reach beyond the veil of the physical world. And as you sit there, watching the firelight flicker and dance, you realize that this knowledge, this power, is something ancient. It's not just about the mushrooms themselves, but about the Vikings' understanding of nature, of the world around them, and of the unseen forces that govern everything. You've become part of something much larger than yourself. The conversation around you continues, but your mind is elsewhere. You can't stop thinking about the vision you had, the glimpse of the future, the sense of connection to the gods, to the spirits, to the land. The mushrooms didn't just open your mind. They opened your soul to something beyond. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real magic of the Vikings. They weren't just warriors. They weren't just conquerors. They were people who knew how to see the world, not just with their eyes, but with their hearts, their spirits. They understood that magic wasn't something separate from life. It was life itself. The night stretches on, and you sip your mead slowly, letting the warmth spread through your chest. But deep inside, something has changed. You're not quite the same as you were before the mushrooms. You've seen something real. And even though the world around you is as it always was, you know it will never look the same again.